Something with you guys. I've joined some support groups, at least a handful yesterday and the day before, some more, and I have received overwhelming support just in a very short period of time, just within a couple days. I don't know why I didn't do it sooner. I guess I've been isolating and posting videos and talking to friends about what's been going on, and even strangers. But I'm so glad that I joined these support groups, because now I realize that there's countless amounts of people that are dealing with the same injustice that I'm dealing with Sarah. And this message is from Wanda Snow in Massachusetts. She says this. So I've responded to her. What my message said was responding to her about her losses. I was like, we need to form a coalition. Like, we need to, besides just support groups and educate. Like, we need to do more, because law enforcement, either they can't do their job, there's too many cases, they don't have enough manpower, whatever it is, or they're counting them as ODs. I was like, either way, I don't know why law enforcement isn't doing more about this. I know that Trump passed like a bill where he put more strict consequences for and jail sentences for people that are dealers, and like, for example, in Arizona, I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona, for people, for someone who gives someone fentanyl and it results in their death, under Arizona law and federal law, it's a 20-year minimum mandatory sentence. 20 years, okay? I don't know why they're not doing. Anyway, this is what Wanda had said. She responded, and I love this message, and this is why I want to share. And I could share with you so many messages. I literally woke up today, and I had almost 70 messages when I woke up, just from a couple different activists and support groups that are against fentanyl and support for loved ones that died from fentanyl, right? I love this. Okay, so here we go. She goes, I agree. Sadly, the problem with the law enforcement is one of two things. She said, number one, they don't have the manpower and the funding to spend a lot of time on these cases, and there are just so many of them. Or, number two, they're letting the stigma on drug abuse and addiction blind their judgment into thinking that all these deaths are just ODs, and they don't care. They figure that it's their own fault and they deserved what happened to them. What they may not know is that these deaths are not ODs. These are homicides. This is homicide by fentanyl, and most of these young people had no idea they were getting fentanyl instead of what they thought that they were getting. This is mass poisoning, and we are losing a whole generation, actually more like two generations, since the ages are 13 to 48 years old, most of these deaths. Fentanyl has no safe dose. It only takes the amount of the tip of a pencil to kill an unsuspecting. You can't OD on something that has no safe dose, because an OD, an overdose, is when you know what you're taking and you take too much of it. Right? I love this. I love what she's saying here, because that is so true. Let me repeat that again. An overdose is when you know what you're taking and you take too much. That is an overdose, accidental. Now, she goes on to say, these kids and young adults think that they're taking something to get them high, not them dead. Obviously, if they knew it would positively kill them, they wouldn't take it. Yes, Wanda. Yes. Preach it, girl. This is true. She said some states are tougher on than others, but in Massachusetts with dealers, it's like a revolving door, she says. If the police bust them, the judge just gives them a slap on the wrist and a fine and maybe probation, and then they are dealing again as soon as they walk out of the courthouse. Which, that alone could be a big part of why law enforcement don't try hard and investigate these killings. They know it's a waste of their resources and time because the judge will just let them go. There needs to be mandatory education on fentanyl with not only law enforcement, but with the judges. There needs to be mandatory education at all middle schools, high schools, and colleges. There needs to be consequences for the dealers, that the charges can't just be dealing, but they need to be charged with murder and attempted murder, and needs to stick. No easy way out of it with just fines or probation. There needs to be hard time. Only then will dealers get the message. If you made soup, and I told you it was soup, and you are it, and then it killed you because I put poison in it, I would be charged with murder, and your death certificate would say homicide, right? She goes on to say, not only are loved ones not getting justice for the crime against them, but they aren't getting even the respect of the proper cause of death on their death certificates. Their certificates are being labeled like they did it to themselves by saying accidentally overdosed. It was no accident. It was unknown. It was unsuspecting. And the dealers are just walking out without a second look. There needs to be education everywhere for these victims, as well as the levels of law enforcement and changes in the law. She goes on to say, in conclusion, I am so sorry. Sarah deserves justice. She should be here. And it wasn't her time. That's right. It wasn't her time to go. And Sarah didn't do this to herself. Sarah didn't do this drug. Like a lot of people that drink alcohol, she drank alcohol and she smoked weed. Okay? Weed doesn't kill you. She liked to drink and she liked to smoke. I believe that she got something laced. I don't know if it was a pill. I don't know if she smoked something. I asked the medical examiner if you can tell me the delivery method to the body. I said, was it given to her through inhalation or through digestion? Did she eat it or smoke it? They said, we don't know. I'm like, I'm reading 6 pages of an autopsy report. How the hell can you not know that? How is it possible that you don't know the delivery method, but you guys know all this stuff? You cut her body up into pieces, and I'm reading 6 pages of report. You guys know everything else, but yet you can't tell me whether she was a long-term user or short-term user, and you can't tell me the delivery method of how this drug got into her system, whether she digested it or whether she inhaled it. And they was like, no, sorry, we can't tell you. Sarah does deserve justice, and I'm not going to stop until I've exhausted all resources to get her that justice she deserves. Now, I don't know what her family's doing about it, but I know what I'm going to do about it, and I'm going to stand in the gap for her and be a voice for her. And thank God for support groups like this. Just want to let everyone know that there is support out there for anyone that is dealing with any type of addictions. There's a group called CBI that has 24-hour detox facilities here in Phoenix, Arizona. If you are struggling with a drug, or you know someone that is struggling with addiction, you can go to CBI, 24-hour detox, check yourself in, and they will help you to dry out. If you're not on state insurance, they will put you on Access State Insurance, and they will get you into a halfway house. It's all state funded. We need to be our brother's keeper. We need to be there for each other and stand in the gap. And I hope that you guys will join me on this good fight. And whether those of you do or don't, I'm still going to keep pushing. I'm still going to keep it moving. I'm still going to keep on trucking on and doing the best that I can to bring justice, not just for the person I love, but for other people as well, and merge with these other groups to help other people that are in situations like me. And I can show you guys countless amounts of messages where people are dealing with the same thing as I am. In some situations, like this woman that had just told me earlier in a message, she said her son died, 18 years old. They know who gave it to her, and to gave it to the son. Another one, son died in his teens. The girlfriend gave it to him. Situations where the police know who gave them the drug, and they're still not acting. They're still not charging that person with homicide or attempted murder or anything. Something needs to change here, people. This is an epidemic. I mean, do you guys know what the statistic is now? From a few years ago, I think it was like 70,000. I think I remember hearing, what was it, in 2021? I'm trying to remember the statistic. It was like 70,000 people a year in the United States had died, 18 to 48. Or 13 to 48. Now, I think the numbers of people that have died in overdose from fentanyl, I think, are like around 100,000 people a year. Guys, think about it like this. If a country came here, say if Mexico came here and they bombed the United States and they killed 100,000 people, do you think we'd be going to war with Mexico? I'm using as an example, right? Say Sweden bombed any country, just use it as an example. Don't get technical with me, guys. If a country came here and they killed 100,000 of our citizens, we would be going to war with that country, period. Our bombers would be out there. Our Marines would be on the front lines. This is a war, straight up, and we are losing that war. I don't have all the answers, everybody, and I don't know exactly what needs to change, but I can tell you fundamentally there's things with education that need to change. Law enforcement needs to change. Laws need to become more strict. We need to increase funding to the police departments so that they can get the manpower that they need to start cracking down on these scumbags that are dealing this drug, and the suppliers and manufacturers. Now, I don't know about you, but I found one of my life missions. And you know what? If God is for me, it doesn't matter who's against me. Romans 8:31, scripture. I'm going to tell you like this. You can be part of the problem in life, you can be part of the solution, or you can just be part of the landscape. I'll tell you what, guys, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to be part of the landscape. I'm not just going to sit on the sideline while stuff like this is happening. Now, to me, it's personal because of what I dealt with in losing Sarah. And for some of you, it might not be that big of a deal because you're like, well, you know what? It's not really personal to me. It's not affecting me. Yeah, it's not affecting you yet until it has affected you or someone that you love. But I can tell you, for me, I'm going to turn my pain into purpose. And I'm going to do what I can to make a difference in this world and leave this world a little bit better of a place than the way that I found it. And God willing, I will do so as long as I can. Thank you for your time, your attention. I appreciate y'all. God bless you. Think about what I'm saying. Think about what you can do to bloom where you're planted and be part of the solution to help your community. Y'all have a good day.